Well, let's say that you're a product designer, maybe something like an industrial designer, and your goal is to just take some hand sketches that you've done of a product and visualize them quickly. We can do that quite easily with Envizia. So let's come over to Create menu because we're going to be creating something entirely from scratch, and we'll come down to Sketch to Render, puts us into Sketch to Render mode, and we will upload an image of a hand sketch that we've done of, let's say it's some headphones that we're wanting to visualize. There we go. And then we put in a prompt. So I've developed a prompt that says headphones with black plastic, a mix of rough, bumpy plastic and shiny, dark plastic. The round cap on the headphone itself is a brushed anisotropic metal. Soft studio lighting on a black background. The product is floating in space. So you try and be very descriptive and specific, and then let's go ahead and see what this gives us. And there we go. So it's always good to go through a couple of different generations just to see if one is kind of more to your liking than the other in terms of exploring ideas. So let's do another one. Okay, so there's another variation. But let's say now that we want to change the color and explore a different kind of idea in terms of coloration. So I'm going to put in a new prompt here that's similar, but I've changed it just a little bit. Headphones with light tan plastic, a mix of rough, bumpy, light tan plastic and shiny, dark plastic. And it's otherwise the same. So let's go ahead and see what this gives us. And there we go. Now, it didn't give me the brushed anisotropic over here. That's okay. If I wanted to take the previous generation and just maybe composite that with an image editor, I could do that if I really needed that. But let's also do this. Let's come over to chat now, and let's come in and do select from a previous creation. And we're going to pull in that version that we just did. And then we want to select the model. But in this case, I'm just going to let AI decide based on the prompt. And let's put in our prompt that says, show me a different view of the headphones. I want to see them looking straight on from the front. Keep everything else the same. And then we'll let it chew on that. Okay, so there we go. It's generated this version. Now, what's cool about this is that we can actually create a product animation from this now. So let's come over to the video tab, and we just specify the 2 frames that we want. So we've already got these as generated items, so we'll select from previous creations, and let's pick the 3/4 view that we initially started with. And then we'll choose that face on, that frontal view right here. And then you just give a prompt for the kind of motion that you want. I'm just going to do something very simple, smooth motion, because it knows it's going to be going between the 2 frames and you just want it to be a nice smooth motion, and you generate. And there we go. So let's go ahead and preview it now. And you can see it just creates this really great sort of turntable type of animation, and all of this just from a hand sketch. Now, another way that you could approach this is to actually use a 3D model as a base. In this case, let's go ahead and switch over to 3D base to render. And we're going to go ahead and upload an image first off, where I have this headphone as a model, and I've just taken a screenshot. It's pretty simple. So we'll go ahead and open that up. So you could develop a model, not try and do any shading in the 3D application, just generate very specifically what it is that you want. And then let's add a prompt here, similar to what we had done before. The headphones use light tan plastics and leather, a mix of smooth and bumpy. The round cap at the headphone itself is a radial brushed metal. So you can see it's just a basic description, and then we'll let it generate. And there we go. So using a 3D image, Like what we would call sort of a basic shading or clay image is another great starting point to just develop ideas for your product.